Welcome to Monday, Tsene with Pretoria Psychologists. Throughout the month of August, we have been dealing with different topics related to women, especially in the context of abuse and also the pandemic. As we know, throughout we have been having lots of reports of domestic violence and intimate partner violence. So if you have missed any of this, as we are wrapping up the month of August with today's session, if you have missed anything, click here just to look into the playlist for something that you might have missed and something that you might be interested in, or click at the end of this video for you to check any related content. The coronavirus pandemic has highlighted many social ills, such as inequality and poverty, and amongst the highlighted social ills is domestic violence and intimate partner violence, where during the level 5 lockdown, I remember hearing police statistics that were reported by the Minister of the Police here in South Africa of more than 80,000 reported cases of intimate partner violence and domestic violence. So this is mainly because men were constantly in homes with their partners, with their mothers, with their grandmothers, with their children, which then left little room for anyone to be able to escape from that environment. So in the past 3 weeks, we have been dealing with various topics on women abuse, namely physical, emotional, verbal, sexual, along with the short-term and also the long-term effects thereof. In this episode, I want to highlight the impact of the abuse if left unchecked, and also the strategies to deal with the effects so that we come out on the other side elevated. I will start with what happens if left unchecked, as well as how to deal with the effects of the abuse, because when we are trapped in such a environment as a result of abuse, it is hard, not necessarily impossible. It's not really that you cannot be elevated or you can't come out on the other side, but a lot of energy and effort is needed to be elevated versus when a person is really emotionally well. So to recap on what has been said in the past 3 weeks, experiencing abuse puts people at risk to developing mental health conditions such as anxiety disorder, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, and also misusing alcohol and drugs. So when we look at the long-term effects of abuse, it can actually include severe stress and fear and anxiety, abuse of alcohol and drugs, depression, eating disorder, self-injury, leading up to suicide. You've got goals, you've got these visions, but as a result of the abuse, be it emotional or financial abuse, which leaves you feeling isolated, fearful and depressed, I'm making an example with these 3 feelings because if you want to realize the dream, it might need for you to have a team or a network of experts to help you, to mentor you in what you want to accomplish. Now, if your partner consistently ensures that you are isolated from your network and support system, you might, for you to be able to accomplish your dream and goal, it might be close to impossible. And as I said even earlier on, it's not necessarily that it will be impossible, but it will take a lot of energy to turn your vision into reality. When we look at emotion of fear or anxiety, fearful people are often not confident to approach social systems that might be key to their success in their ventures. Anxiety traps a person in them overthinking every move and every decision instead of just doing it. Now, I want you to imagine what happens to that idea. It might be that you have this lot of dialogues in your head without actually making the move, which then in turn will make the vision to die out. The last symptoms that I mentioned is an example with depression. Depression is marked with low energy, lack of excessive sleeping, loss of appetite or more appetite, you lose interest in pleasurable activities, withdrawal, irritability, forgetfulness, loss of concentration. So now I want you to imagine with your goals and dreams and having this in your way. So the depression in your way, the fear in your way, the isolation, whatever symptoms that we have been mentioning over the week that are caused by or that are as a result of physical, emotional, financial, or emotional abuse. As progressives, many of the world's constitutions and legal systems might be, most of them are not really victim-centric. This means that for offenders to be persecuted, the victim has to really prove their case beyond reasonable doubt. In the context of financial and emotional abuse, the victim is often disempowered and emotionally and financially to fight this or the legal way. It means that the victim then might have to give up on the way, and then which perpetuate the cycle of abuse to go on. I've seen a lot of women in therapy who came powerless because they are dependent on their partners for financial means, or they were embarrassed to accept the truth about what's going on in their relationship, where at the end they were empowered enough to be able to set boundaries for those abusive situations, as well as protect themselves economically and emotionally. When empowerment comes the hope to dream again, to embrace the future, and to also think that the future can be bright. So to have the all is not lost attitude. A while ago I saw a woman who actually mentioned to me that their dreams are shattered because they thought that the X amount of years that they have lived, that they have not realized their dream, it's all lost. But in therapy with one of our interventions, I helped her to see the skills that she has gained and the experiences that she has gained throughout her life, which then helped to empower her to see that it's not all lost. She can use those same skills to be able to springboard her dreams again, to be able to springboard her passion again, where now she's feeling that she can live out her purpose. For those who feel like you have waited for too long, do not beat yourself up about it. It is understandable and it's very natural for you to beat yourself about it, but remember, it's never too late for you to take action. Seek professional help. For those who are still in abusive relationship, create for yourself a network of friends, colleagues, acquaintances that can be supportive and non-judgmental. There is nothing you have done and there's nothing that you can do to make or change the other person's actions. You don't have control over the other person's action. You only have the control on yourself. So another thing to do is to open a police file and to detail and report every little thing that happens, be it a shaft, be it that the person has emptied out the bank account, so report everything, record everything to keep safe, be it the pictures, the events, the time that it took place, the places where it took place. Remember when we talked about emotional abuse 2 weeks ago, we also talked about the phenomenon called gaslighting. So in keeping all these records, in keeping the files, in keeping the places and everything and noting it down, it will help you when the abuser gaslights you, because gaslighting, remember, it's about the abuser changing the facts so that you at the end feels like you were the one who was in the wrong. And lastly, talk to someone. There is always help. There is always hope. There is always somebody who's willing to listen on the other side. Even though the people that you have trusted might not have been able to help you at the time that you needed help, there will be somebody who's willing to help you and that can help you in a effective way. Keep your dreams, your visions, your aspiration alive. For more information, we have put together a link of resources and articles and people where you can go to find help, as well as where are the organizations where you can be able to find help should you find yourself in this very situation that we have just described in this video. So it is me, Ndala-Magoro, Monday Tsene with Pretoria Psychologists, as we wrap up this month's series on women abuse in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic. And we say to you, keep alive, your dreams are very worthwhile, and there's always help that is available for you around. Thank you. See you next time as we spring into the springtime in September. Tsene with Pretoria Psychologists. It's me signing out. Bye.